Superman is the movie that the world needs right now, because it's a story about humanity and hope by a storyteller who cares. Our world needs hope now more than ever. That's why it's my favourite movie of the year, but I want to stop and talk about what I think is the best scene in the movie, and it's not any of the action scenes. It's the 9-minute dialogue scene. A healthy argument.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
This is arguably the most important scene in Superman, also the best shot scene. James Gunn put everything into crafting this scene. Film schools should use this scene to teach how to shoot dialogue.
So it's probably my favorite scene in the film if I haven't seen it as many times as I have, and if I ever have to see it again, I'll jump out that window.
This dialogue scene stands out so much because we never really get scenes like this in superhero movies.
The biggest risk I took was putting a 12-minute talking scene in a superhero movie. There's just no doubt.
Superman is just trying to do good and is kind in a world that thinks kindness is old-fashioned. And in this moment, the consequences of actions start to deeply and personally pierce the Man of Steel. David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan are so perfectly casted, and their chemistry is so good. They are a believable couple. There's no one more passionate nor someone who looks more like Superman than David Corenswet. I cannot emphasize enough that Rachel Brosnahan is Lois Lane. She's a great actress. In these 9 minutes, these two actors really get to play. And this is the scene that they auditioned with, which makes sense because it has the most material and depth. In a movie about an invincible superhero with epic spectacle, there's nothing better to do than to interrupt all of that with a 9-minute dialogue scene. It may start with a lot of kissy stuff, but that's not why I love it. This scene's focus is spending time with these characters as people. That's the meaty stuff that James Gunn loves. We go deep into Lois and Clark. We see how they love each other and how they don't love each other. I called this a healthy argument because this is the stuff that Clark and Lois needed to express to each other in order to progress in their relationship and overcome everything thrown at them. They're putting on their professional personas for this interview, but because they're a couple in love, their personal feelings constantly break through, and the interview is a disaster. The scene clearly shows us each character's point of view. Lois is talking about truth. Clark is talking about life. We're rooting for both of them because they both want to do the right thing, but they have different ways of seeing things. I love how James and David approach Superman like he's a real human being. He's an alien, but he's more human than most, and his humanity is his greatest strength. But he's not flawless, and certainly not tech savvy.
Where's the button?
Stop. It's...
This is the most emotional we've ever seen Superman in a movie, because Lois is deadlier to him than kryptonite. Though I will say that I don't like hearing Superman say that hashtag with a swear word, even though he's only quoting someone else. But he also said this in the movie.
What the hey, dude?
And Lois is unstoppable. She's emotionally intelligent and practical, but copes better in work than in relationships. The scene understands how to balance drama with very human levity. Lois always says what the audience is thinking.
Longer than I ever gave myself, by the way.
Oh, you can time your imaginary interviews with yourself? That's a thing you can do?
This scene is a crash course in how to shoot a dialogue scene. I'm obsessed with how this scene is shot. Even the very first shot I just love. James Gunn and Henry Bram are an amazing director and DOP pair. They've created a signature cinematography style. Superman is intentionally shot very bright, clipped windows and all, because it suits the tone of this hopeful character, and because James wanted to bring colour back to science fiction. This scene was filmed entirely handheld, and even though it's coverage of dialogue, it's not static. There's a lot of movement, so you feel like you're in the room with the characters. When tension builds or when things get more intimate, we start moving more. There's more cuts and close-ups for important lines, both engaging camera work and engaging performances. Also, this is how you light a scene. Shooting into the shadows always looks amazing. Even though the film shot very bright, it's not overlit. This here is bright in tone, but the skin tones still look realistic, and there's shadow depth. The lighting looks believable and cinematic. Lamps are made good use of all throughout the scene. Not only do lamps look very nice in film, especially in night scenes, but they also add depth to the shot. And in this case, they make a journalist's apartment look appealing. You can never have too many lamps. So what we can take away from this scene is don't be afraid to take your time and go deep with dialogue scenes. Shoot them fluidly and light them well, and let your actors play. I can't express enough how amazing this scene is. This is why I say that Superman is James Gunn's best work. It's really inspired me as a filmmaker. I hope we get more scenes like this in Man of Tomorrow. So what did you think of this scene? What's your favorite scene in Superman? Let me know in the comments below, and may the Force be with you.